So welcome everybody to our introduction to systematic kinesiology, but specifically for yoga teachers, and how Lorraine here has been doing a great job with combining kinesiology and yoga. So before we get started, I just want to cover some logistics. We do have a chat box. And so as part of our preparation, it's nice to get a sense of whether you can find that chat box and just type in where you are calling from or where you're watching from this evening, just so we know that we've got that feature is working. It has been working all week, but if you can let us know where you're calling in from, then we know that it's working tonight, so that will be great. So we've got Roscommon, we've got England, we've got Kerry, and we've got Donegal and Galway and Dublin. All right, keep those coming in. And so what we're covering today is very much, it's going to be very different to if anybody's been watching any of our roadshow events this week. We've been doing lots of webinars each evening, but tonight we're going to be doing something a little bit different with Lorraine. She's going to be demonstrating yoga poses and how she brings in kinesiology, how she brings in the understanding of the meridians energy, and how she can also help address particular problems or injuries, even for getting into her clients getting into yoga poses. And yeah, so we're gonna have fun with this. So my name is Siobhan Guthrie. I qualified in kinesiology in 1998 and set up Kinesiology Zone in 2000. And I've always been keen on learning lots of different things, and so I did the Bowen technique, which is very gentle work with fascia and muscles, the Egoscue method, which is postural alignment therapy, and just recently qualified in transformative coaching. So I teach the diploma course in advanced kinesiology and run my balanced health course in Rathmines, and I see clients as well. And so tonight we have Lorraine. So Lorraine, tell us a little bit about, I have obviously up here all your kinesiology experience, but tell us a little bit more about yourself.
Hi everybody, welcome to the webinar. I'm really pleased to have you all on board. So my name is Lorraine Elliott. I have been a yoga practitioner for 6 years. I have also been a systematic kinesiologist. I qualified in 2014, or I did my balanced health in 2014 and qualified with a diploma a couple of years later. I also have a Reiki level 1 and 2 done. I have a practitioner certificate for neuro-linguistic programming and yin yoga teacher training as well. And I would be Anusara trained as my full-time practice for yoga teaching. So I'm here today to share some really good tips on how I use my practice in kinesiology with yoga teaching. It really enhances my classes. My students get great benefit from it. Often, as a yoga teacher, you would have experienced, and I experienced, when clients or students come to class, people come to yoga for different reasons. They often come with either structural problems, misalignments, injuries. Some people are suffering with anxiety. They need to take time out in their lives, or you know, a common thread as well is the busy lives that we lead, no downtime. So I had noticed, I suppose how I got into this was myself, after qualifying, I was qualified a year as a yoga teacher, and my health began to fail, really. I wasn't well at all, and I really had no emotional problems. I felt really happy in my life. Everything was going great. I was loving the yoga teaching. You know, I was happy, go lucky going around. Anyway, my health started to dissipate. I started to get this shortness of breath, extreme fatigue, really wasn't well. I was dizzy. I could barely stand up some days. I felt like I was getting allergies to everything. As this escalated, I ended up with anxiety, chest pains. I definitely experienced a panic attack, and all of that goes with the body being out of line. So I went through the medical route. I went to loads of different specialists, eventually to be told by two that they thought it was an emotional problem or something that was in my subconscious mind and I wasn't dealing with. Now, I really knew my own body. I was practicing yoga, very regularly at this stage, also teaching. I was being very relaxed in myself. However, my body wasn't relaxed. So I fully believed that it wasn't an emotional problem, it was a chemical problem. At that time, I did up the ante. I did more yoga. I increased meditation, all of the beautiful things that help you to feel better. However, I wasn't fully there. And that's what led me to kinesiology. So when I found kinesiology, I realized that I had severe adrenal fatigue brought on by toxins in the body, which in my case was heavy metals. So I had heavy metal toxicity from mercury fillings in my teeth, which was causing leaky gut, digestive problems, toxicity to the whole system. And over time, it just got worse and worse. So anyway, kinesiology, for me, really, I feel saved my life. It also opened my eyes to the possibilities of there being more to healthcare, more to balancing the body. And yeah, I've never looked back. So I decided to train, that's me. I was really, really blown away by what I've seen. I now have a thriving business. I have my own studio built. I see maybe 15 to 20 clients a week. They come from all over the country. I deal with a range of health problems from colic in small babies to everything, digestive problems, misalignments, injuries, skin problems, stress, anxiety, you name it. I've seen it in my practice. I also feel that kinesiology has hugely complemented my yoga teaching because I've been able to bring the different tips on extra alignment tips and I now look at the body in a different way. So I'm feeling hugely grateful for that. My students really benefit from it. And also I feel a bit more satisfied when my students leave. They have tips to work on at home. They feel better, definitely. They leave feeling a lot more tension-free, and I have seen structural misalignments balance a lot quicker in people when I'm bringing the kinesiology into the practice. So yeah, today I'm going to demonstrate a few circuits that I would normally test in kinesiology. However, in a yoga class, I just instruct the students to rub certain neurolymphatic points or hold neurovascular points on the head, which the neurovascular points on the head increase blood flow to different circuits. So on each circuit, there will be muscles, there is a corresponding organ, there is emotions. The Chinese medicine is also mapped onto this in the sense that we work with emotions, acupressure points, and importantly for today's demonstration as well, I will be working on meridians also, which are, I suppose, like a motorway system in the body. They're energy lines that run through the body, our life force, our chi, our prana, it's many different names. And if this energy becomes blocked due to the foods we eat, our lifestyle, environmental factors, toxicity, many different stress, if these energies in our body become blocked, then it can cause misalignment in the muscles, or the muscles can go weak, or it can cause digestive problems, so on and so forth. So I'm going to start off with speaking about the large intestine circuit. I'm going to introduce the beautiful Lucy Young. She has volunteered her time to come here today, and I am going to demonstrate the muscle test. I'm then going to put her into yoga poses, getting her to work on the lymphatics that will strengthen these muscles. How that works is the lymph system is really important for overall health. It cleans and feeds the body. So if your lymph is stagnant, then I suppose energy, vitality, vitamins and minerals, everything that keeps you healthy is below par, or can be below par. So when people come to yoga class and they may present with back pain, for example, the large intestine circuit often can be a signal to me. I'm thinking, oh, okay, I'll see how they may perform in their hamstring stretch. And you might notice, or you would often hear the oohs and the ahs, where people, when they're stretching into the hamstrings, they find it really tight, really uncomfortable. So yes, I encourage them to rub some lymph flow to unblock the lymph so that their hamstrings can release and balance, and they can obviously really stretch deeper. They feel much more ease in poses, but they're also behind the scenes balancing and creating, I suppose, well-being for their large intestine circuit. Okay, so without further ado, Lucy, would you like to come on the show?
Welcome, Lucy. You're very good. Very brave. Thank you.
Lucy is a friend of mine for many years, but also comes to my yoga class every week very diligently. So I haven't seen her in the last 2 weeks because she has had visitors from England, her family, and so she self-confessed that there's been a bit of wine involved, a few barbecues, the usual. When the sun is shining, we all do it. It's the balance of life, but it's to keep the balance. So Lucy has been feeling out of balance. She will get great benefit from this. I'm going to demonstrate the muscles that are weak. I really know that many of them that I'm going to test will be weak anyway. Just by the little problems she's been speaking with me about before we started. So Lucy, if you would like to lie out on your back, please. Okay. So, first of all, I am going to demonstrate fascia lata muscle. So the fascia lata muscle is situated here on the side of the thigh. Again, it's on the circuit of the large intestine. And when this muscle shows as out of balance, it will indicate large intestine problems, which could be fungal overgrowth, digestive problems, constipation, diarrhea, imbalance in bacteria in the body, many different things. So also maybe low stomach acid, things like that. So I'm going to test your fascia lata muscles. Okay, so Lizzie, it's okay, your back, everything's okay today. So I'm going to raise this leg up in the air and bring it out slightly and then turn the whole leg in and hold. Okay, so that muscle is strong. Okay, now we're going to take it to the other side. So I turn the leg in, okay, and I'm supporting on the opposite hip and hold. Okay, and you can see that that's very weak. Okay, so this you can relax down. Can you feel the body wobbling as we muscle test? So that was difficult for Lucy to hold on. So I'm now going to demonstrate. I'm going to get Lucy to wrap a strap around the ball. We'll start with this one. So we're going to do the two legs. We won't stay too long on this one, as this is not the weak one, just for time saving. Okay. So this is your classic hamstring stretch that you would, come over here, that you would often start off a class with, just to lengthen into the hamstrings. So arms are straight, shoulders back, okay? Being relaxed. Okay. So throwing your toes back, that's perfect. And if you could take both sides of the strap into one hand, Lucy, I'm going to ask you to, so the lymphatic points are on the inside of the thigh here, and you're working up towards the groin or up towards the heart. And if you would mind to rub in a circular movement, okay? So any tender spots, Lucy, I'll get you to just stay at those for a moment, work into them, and then you can start at the top again and rub down. So, are you feeling tender spots? Just that? Yeah, okay. So stay at that for a moment. So the tender spots that she's feeling are blocked lymph nodes. So these are the ones that you want to stay on and massage it. Perfect. Okay, let's change legs. Okay, so nice and easy. I'll let you do it. Too many cooks. Okay, and again, nice and easy. Perfect. Okay. So, lovely. So you might observe that this leg might be more tender because it is the weaker one. So when you have a weak fascia lata muscle or any muscles on the circuit of the large intestine, they're big players in back support. So often The hips could be out of line, the lower back people feel pain in, and it's often, again, can be the circuit of the large intestine. So this helps with, obviously then, the alignment in the legs and the upper body. It's so important. Okay. So you feel okay? Yeah, perfect. So if you lower down that way. So I'm now going to retest that muscle. Okay, so if you raise up this leg and turn the leg out to the side and hold. And you can see how strong that muscle has gone. So if you observe my muscles as I'm testing, you'll notice when I am testing muscles and hold. Okay, super strong. Okay. Did you feel a difference as you were holding that up there? So when you're teaching your yoga class, this is a really simple instruction to do. You will also notice people, if you go back and test the hamstrings at the end of the class, they feel much more balanced. They won't be as tight or sore. Yes, often backache is dissipated as well. Okay, so I will move on now. I'm going to test a muscle related to the liver. So the liver, as we know, is a huge organ of elimination. It filters all the toxins in the body, and it often gets overwhelmed, especially if we've been extra kind to ourselves with all the goodies. The liver takes the hit. So it's so important to make sure that the liver is healthy and well. It is the function for health and well-being in the body. It really is important. The thing with the liver is the muscles on the liver circuit are the pectoralis major sternal muscle, so shoulder muscle up here, and the rhomboids on the middle of the back. So if you're to draw your shoulders back, you'll feel those rhomboids. A good signal for me if my liver is out of balance is I will get aches in between those rhomboids. You will feel like you will need to stretch. Nothing will take the ache out, only momentarily. It's generally a very good sign of toxicity or the liver being blocked up. So I'm going to muscle test the pectoralis major sternum. Okay, and raise this up. And you can turn your hand out towards me. Okay, and again, a light hold. Okay, and that one's weak. Okay. Perfect. And hold. And that one's strong. Okay, so we have a weak muscle on the right hand side. Okay, so the stretch I chose for this is working into the rhomboids. However, it's more that she will be able to get at the lymphatic points. So it's a really good stretch for the IT band and everything that goes with that as well. So I'm going to ask you to move into Cindy pose. If you could bend up both knees, first of all, and allow your left knee to collapse out. And then stepping over the left knee, so you might need to bring your knees slightly this way. So I'm going to get you to press your elbows into the floor and shimmy around as if in a C shape. So if you can reach this right angle, yeah, and then raise your right arm up over your head and curling. Perfect. Okay. So if it's comfortable, you can gently bring it out. Again, listen to your own body. If anything feels too much of a stress, please just realign or make yourself comfortable. So I'm going to ask you to free up this arm. And the correction points, the neurolymphatic points for the liver are on the right side of the body, right underneath where the bra line is, so the 5th and 6th foot. So if you could feel into there and see if you have any sore, tender spots, any blocked lymph showing. And I want you to give them a good rub. So if you were to do this for a few days in a row, you would notice that all that tenderness or sensitivity will dissipate, and you know it's clearing, so you're helping to feed and clean the liver. Okay, perfect. Let's take you to the opposite side, and what we do is we rub on the stomach circuit. Let me test you before we test that. So let's see if we have a stomach muscle that's weak. Hold. Okay. And hold. Hold. Yeah, that one's it's not great. It's not too weak, but it's not great. So if you could come into the C stretch on the opposite side. Perfect. And elbow your way around towards me. And reaching over. Okay, perfect. And then if you could take the hand exactly and rub under that left. Now, so the liver circuit often when out of balance is the cause for many shoulder problems. And as a yoga teacher, you experience a lot of, I have anyway, experienced a lot of students coming through the door with rotator cuff problems, limited range of movements. And yes, the yoga is fantastic and definitely helps. However, I did find myself becoming frustrated over time that sometimes it can take quite a long time for the shoulders to open up or to see differences in their rotator cuffs or their range of movements. So when I started to bring kinesiology, just small techniques into the class, a massive difference in the range of movement, in the health of the shoulder, and people were feeling better with themselves as well. Okay, so that's perfect. If you want to come back to lying on the mat. Okay, so I'm going to go back and retest the liver muscle. And hold. Super strong. Okay, and we'll go back and test this one. And hold. And that's much, much stronger as well. So fantastic. Okay, great. So if you would like to do window screen wiper legs there, just to release the feet wide on the mat, the width of the mat, yes, and drop your knees from side to side. So Lucy, I'm also going to ask you to along your hip line. So this is a really good tip as well for your yoga students, to press along the hip line, along here. Often lymph, when it's trying to clear and clean, can get clogged in the system if the system isn't flowing as well as it should. So pressing along the hip line will just unclog that area of lymph there, allowing the lymph from the legs to flow up and be released. Is that okay? Perfect. Okay, great. Move forward. Okay, so this next muscle test, I'm going to demonstrate how I use the meridians as well. This one is hugely important. It's related to the adrenal glands. So the adrenal glands are responsible for controlling our stress levels. If the body is out of balance, or there's too much toxicity, or there's a chemical imbalance of some sort, then the adrenal glands will release excess cortisol into the body. And this cortisol is a hormone, so eventually with prolonged output, the cortisol, the body can't manage to keep doing this all the time. This is when we experience fatigue, tiredness, unbalanced sleep patterns. Also, people experience anxiety, chest pains, worry, unable to deal with stress like they normally would. So this shows for so many clients in kinesiology, also clients that come for yoga classes, because generally people want to come to get a bit of downtime, to relax or learn how to relax. Often you will observe in your class, you will notice when new students come, they find it very difficult to relax or to allow themselves to quieten the mind or allow the body to relax. So this is a really good one for helping on a chemical level, working on the lymph and also working on the energy body. So first of all, I'm going to test the muscles. So if you could bring your knee out to the side and place the solar plexus too. Okay. So Lucy, I'm going to be trying to aim out. Okay, I want you to hold there, please. Yeah, that one is weak. Okay, let's change sides. These are quite strong muscles, the sartorius muscles. Hold. And that one's super strong. Okay, so we have a weakness here. I'm also going to demonstrate how I test quickly in class if I feel there is an imbalance here. I can test the beginning or the end point of the meridians. So the meridians, as I said, are energy lines in the body which are not visible to the eye but are hugely important. So it's our electrical system, making sure that fuse board is all connected properly. So I'm going to use a muscle we know is strong, which is this muscle. So we fixed this already. So hold. That's a strong muscle. And I'm going to touch the end point of her meridian, which is up here, just towards the end of the eyebrow, and hold. Yes, and you can see how weak, that's obviously very weak there. Okay, so that indicates that. So Lucy, if I could put you into a butterfly pose, like you are cobblers, sorry, recline cobblers, yeah, you'll be together. And I'm going to get you to tap up your meridian. So you can do this with any of the meridians, you can do this in any of the yoga poses. It's a great one to release stress. And I'm going to get you to tap from the ring finger, so the tip of the ring finger, all the way up your arm, out around the elbow, and up around the ear, just finishing at the triple warmer 23. Good, okay, and then start at the bottom again, all the way up. Okay, and we'll do it one more time, just for good measure. Okay, and we'll change sides here, so we'll do the opposite side. So as Lucy is doing her opposite side, I'm going to show you where the adrenal points are on the body. So if you find your tummy button, please feel free to join in and do this at home. As even sitting at the laptop, you can be working on your adrenals. And you'll feel great after the seminar anyway. So if you find your tummy button and you come out 1 inch either side and 2 inches up. So roughly, they're the size of walnuts, and if you press with your 4 fingers into you may notice that one side is more tender than the other. So Lucy, if you could work on your adrenals, so let me check your tummy buttons here. So 2 inches up, about here, and in slightly closer. Okay. So you can rub both. Often I will get the students in class to think of the stress at the same time, as kinesiology works on the MCPE approach, we call it. So we balance on the mental, chemical, physical, electrical, emotional. So you're getting an all-round healing from every angle. For example, if you were to go to, although every healing modality does fantastic work, if you go to, for Reiki, for example, it is the energy body that is being predominantly worked on. Now, we know that obviously when you work on one system, it will and can enhance the other systems. However, it's more of a beneficial fix, I feel, and I definitely see it in clients in their health, when you incorporate the structural fix, which is what Lucy is doing now, the electrical fix or the meridian fix. The emotional fix will be bringing the stress into the mind while you're working on the points. And then, of course, the chemical fix would be, as a kinesiologist, finding out why the body is out of balance. Is it due to toxic metals? Is it due to emotional stress? So on and so forth. And does the client need things like vitamin C or B vitamins to boost their adrenal glands and keep them balanced? As when we're stressed, we burn up so many vitamins, and we don't know this is happening. So when we burn up all of our vitamins and then we go back looking for a little bit when we're stressed, this is when anxiety and feelings of panic can arise. Okay, are you doing very easy? Good, great. Nearly asleep. Okay, if you could straighten out your legs for me, please. I'm going to retest this muscle, so if you can bend down the knee. Okay, and hold. Super strong. Okay, excellent. Can you feel the difference in that? Okay, great. Lovely stuff. We must test the other one just to lock it in. Take it on the nose and hold. Okay, perfect. Thank you so much. Okay, so this time I am going to demonstrate a dehydration test. Generally in kinesiology, dehydration can be tested through the kidney circuit. It can also be tested through any indicator muscle that we choose. But I'm going to test your kidney circuit first, just to see how it's performing. So this next test is a psoas muscle. The psoas muscle is highly, I suppose, it highly corresponds with backache, dehydration, if you drink too much coffee, if you're worried or anxious or anything like that. Fears, worries, anxieties can also cause imbalance in this circuit. Okay, so we're going to support you, and I'll take this leg up in the air, Lucy. I'm turning the whole leg out towards me. Are you able to support the weight of your own leg? Okay, and hold. Okay, hold again. Okay, that one is weak. Okay, we'll press that down. Raise up this one, turn it out. Okay, is that okay? And we're back, yeah, and hold. Okay, and that one's super strong. So do have you. So you've been a great demo today, Lucy. You're going to be a great advocate. So I'm going to bring a glass of water over to you, Lucy, and if you would mind to hold it on your tummy. So this is showing how that circuit can be empowered. So again, we're working with the energy field of the body here. I'm basically seeing if her body wants more water. And if it does, the muscle should change. Okay, the muscle tone should change. Okay, you okay with this? And hold. And you can see how much I'm pressing there. Super strong. So yes. Lucy, my love, gallons of water for you this week. So I'm just going to take it. Would you mind to sit up? And I want you to take yourself up the water. Excellent. Okay, and if you lie back down, I'm just going to retest that muscle. So she now has had water in her mouth. We're testing from the inner body as well. Raise up the neck and hold. And you can feel that it's got strong already. So the psoas muscle originates just up the lower back about here, and it wraps around the hips. It's the one we kick a football with. So this is a huge player in your back support, and when out, it shows an awful lot of people with backache. So yes, always drink more water anyway, but if you're suffering with backache, cut out the coffee and drink more water. So Lucy, I'm going to get you into a butterfly pose. I'll get you to sit up first straight. Okay. Now I'm going to test the beginning point of, or the end point of this meridian also, just to see whether, so the water has fixed the chemical imbalance in the body with dehydration. I'm not sure if it has fixed the electrical body, so we'll use this muscle again. We know it's strong. Okay. No, it hasn't. Okay, so we have a weak, we still have a weakness in the circuit. Okay, so Lucy, if you could come into butterfly pose by placing the soles of the feet together. Okay. Would you like any support underneath your? Okay. So I want you to inhale to lengthen up. And as you exhale, forward. If you need to come up again to inhale and exhale. Okay, and you can relax down. Okay, and if you want to slow it down, just find a comfortable position for you. So this is a yin yoga pose. It works on the, and you can relax the hands, you can hold the feet, whatever feels good. Forget that we're here. So if this is a yin yoga pose, and I was blown away when I trained as a yin yoga teacher trainer. I was working in pairs with another girl, and we were facing each other in the butterfly pose. And then we were observing. So Lucy, do you feel imbalanced anywhere in that pose? Would you like it, is it tighter on one side, or?
Your right hand side is tighter.
Your right hand side is tighter. Okay, excuse me for a moment. I'm just going to grab a pillow. Okay, so I'm going to just see if this makes a difference. Okay, I'm going to slide this on your buttocks there. Okay. Less or more, or would you prefer it on the other side?
Yeah, I prefer it
on the other side. Okay, this is good, Larry. Thank you, Lucy. Okay.
Yeah, that makes a difference.
Okay, that makes a difference. So we had, which one this week? This one, wasn't it? Okay, so yeah. So often, you can see there already, when we have a weak muscle, often the opposite side has to take up the slack. It's not always the same muscle on the opposite side, but it definitely can be. And in this case, Lucy is in the butterfly pose and she feels too tight or too achy. What was your expression? Tighter into the right hand side. Therefore, there was an imbalance. So just to use a small props, you do this in your yoga practice. And I just want to demonstrate how holding Lucy in this pose, like I experienced on the training, I noticed that the girl didn't look and didn't feel very comfortable. And when we used a small prop, first of all, I tested her meridian and noticed that her kidney meridian was actually out of balance. And by putting her into the pose correctly and using props so that she felt more comfortable, when we sat her up out of the pose and I retested the meridian, it was strong. So that absolutely blew my mind. So it was a great way then that was when I started incorporating kinesiology, you know, a lot more into yoga practice. Okay, so if you want to gently inhale and lengthen up. Okay, and let's fire this out again. Okay. Do you know what? Is it okay if I use this muscle here? Hold. Okay, and I'm going to touch this one again. Super strong. Super strong. So you can see there that even the use of the props and the water balance the muscle and then lengthening into the meridian or creating energy to flow through it help to support the kidney circuit. So thank you so much. Okay, Lucy, if you would lie back down, or let me see, let's do, just to stay sitting with your legs straight. So we're going to do, are you comfortable like that? If you need support, let me know. So this is our one of our last demonstrations before we do Shavasana. And this, I suppose this circuit is the spleen circuit. Again, hugely important. People suffer from allergies during the summer. They're eating a lot more sugar. You know, the diet in general can go out of balance at this time of year. And the old glasses of wine, of course, don't help. So I'm going to test your latissimus dorsi muscle first. Actually, Lucy, I will need you to lie down. Apologies. Thank you. Okay, so I'm going to turn this arm in and out and keep the elbow straight. I want you to hold there. Oh, we do have a weak muscle. Goodness me, Lucy, you're staying back. We're full treatment when we're finished. None of this is rehearsed. This is all real life. Okay, this one is strong. So the latissimus dorsi muscle is a huge back muscle. Again, a massive one in backache. You might often notice students coming into your yoga class with one shoulder higher than the other, and they would say they have an injury. Often too much sugar in the body can be the cause of this. One latissimus dorsi too weak, and maybe the other one hypertonic or too strong. So the correction point for this is between the 7th and 8th ribs on the left over here. So I can feel already there's a little drop. That's tender for you, Lucy. Yeah. Okay. So what we're going to do is sit Lucy first off before we balance, and I want to demonstrate how this enhances the yoga poses or how students benefit. So if you could sit up first off, and I want you to inhale to lengthen. Draw your toes back towards your shoes. Okay, do you feel okay? Yep. And we're just going to take a forward fold. Now listen to your body. If you need to inhale to lengthen and go longer again, you can. And lower down. Okay, you can hold your feet or whatever you want, okay? Okay, so if you can observe Lucy's posture here. Okay, and I know she's really trying her best at the moment as well. So Lucy, if you could inhale and gently come back up. I want you to rub into the 7th and 8th ribs here, okay? And I'll work on mine level. Again, you can do this at home. Focusing on the tender spots. If you have been guilty of having loads of fun this summer, you shouldn't feel guilty for it either. Continue to do it. Just find the balance in life, isn't it? Okay, so the tender spots. Perfect. Is it starting to dissipate? Yeah. Okay. Perfect. So we now want to have another look at this yoga pose. If you could inhale again, draw your toes back towards your shoes. When you feel ready, you can raise the arms up in the air and fold forward. And you can see that you can visibly see there's a massive difference there where her muscle. How does that feel? Does that feel much easier for you? Great. Okay. There you go. You can see that for yourself, and that's fantastic. Great. I see this every day. So inhale and lengthen up whenever you're ready. And I see this in class all the time. I notice the difference after the students work on the points or tap the meridians or release the stress or the emotion. Often when we're doing hip openers, I encourage them to think about a stress that they've been going through and feel it releasing the body or holding these emotional stress release points, which I will demonstrate in a couple of seconds. So just before I get you into Shavasana, I'm going to show you something called, it's just a spleen and a triple warmer hug. Very simple. Again, it's working on acupuncture points on the body, which are on the meridian systems, and it's very gentle. As people are sitting in staff pose, or students are sitting in staff pose, you can get them to hold the spleen 21 point over here, just nice and gentle. Those were pretty much where Lucy was rubbing, okay? And gently hold over here on the elbow. Relax the arms So it's important to keep this, when you are practicing at home with this, to keep the lateral arch in the lower back. So what Lucy is doing is holding her left side very gently, and the triple warmer 10 point, which is here. You might notice those new straps are out for people with hay fever or allergies. What they have is a little plastic ball that presses in on this point, and this is why people are getting so much relief from it. They're working on the energy system, so you'll notice those up the stairs. You can stay here and notice, do you feel pulsations, sense of calm, sense of relaxation. There's a beautiful settling that comes with this. Perfect. Okay, thank you, Lucy. So Lucy will be very happy now to know that she gets to lie out on the ground and into Shavasana, which is the last yoga pose in our classes. So before I allow her to go away with the clouds, I'm going to demonstrate one last technique, which is called ESR, or emotional stress relief. So this is a technique that you learn. By the way, you learn all of these muscle tests on the Balance Health course if you thought it would be a great addition to your yoga teaching or any other holistic therapy that you practice it. This ESR technique is hugely powerful, very gentle, easy and quick, and I have some huge transformations also with it. So Lucy, if you don't mind, I'm going to muscle test. So I'm just taking indication muscle. I can use any muscle once I know it's working strong. Okay, I just need to know that I can turn off this muscle. There's a sedation point here. And yes, okay. Should be back to strength. Yeah, okay. So relax for a moment. Lucy, would you bring a stress into your mind for me? Okay. Detoxing. And we're retesting this strong muscle. Okay, you can see that that's obviously. So Lucy's emotional stress, when she brings it into her mind, or if you are dealing with emotional stress, if you hold these points at the top of the head, or on the forehead, so between the eyebrows and the hairline, they're like two 20-pound pieces. And using your four fingers is a really comfortable way, or you can use your full hand. Now, as parents, if there's any parents watching, you would naturally, comfort your child if they've been in an accident or if they're upset. But these points, if you hold them for 2 minutes upwards, they increase the blood flow to the stomach, calming the whole nervous system. They also work with the stomach energy, the stomach circuit. So effectively, it gives the body a tool to deal with the stress that you're feeling. So Lucy, I'm going to work on your ESR points. Generally, at the end of class, I will rub some lavender on the back of my hands. As we know, lavender is one of the most calming essential oils there is, so it's always good to work on another sense in the body, which is the smell. So I'm pretending I have some lavender oil in my hand here because I can't have a head. Okay, so Lucy, if you could breathe in for me and out. I'm going to work on the ESR points, and I'm going to ask Lucy if you would place your hands just at the base of the skull. So these are also, you can relax those elbows out. These are electrical points on the body, but also neurolymphatic points, which will increase the electrics in the body. The electricity will go to wherever it's needed. In turn, it will increase cell vibration. Also, by gently massaging or lightly pressing on these points, you're unblocking lymph flow, which allows for the brain to be fed in food. It creates, I suppose it enhances clearer thinking. If you suffer with foggy thinking or tiredness while driving, this is a really good part. Please, if you would mind to keep that stress in your mind, okay? And you can join in at home.
Yes, if you're joining in at home, then the best way to get the best benefit of this is to think of a particular stress, and then hold these points. Give them a little bit of a stretch. Hold them really gently, and just focus in.
Perfect. Okay, so we will have a long shavasana. Okay, so I'm going to retest the muscle, and I want you to bring the emotional stress back into your mind, please. Give me a nod. Okay, and hold. And you can see there that the muscle tone has remained strong, indicating that the stress or the emotion that was causing imbalance to the body has now been cleared. So effectively, the body becomes more tension-free, you feel more relaxed. It's a great tool to be used for any emotional stress. Even if I found myself too busy in the day, it would hold me as our voice at the hand. It helps you to gather yourself and grounds you. Okay, so that is, you can stay there for a moment, isn't it? That is everything for me today. I hope you enjoyed the techniques and all of the little tips. You have loads to go home with and enhance your own yoga practice or that of your students. I notice when I practice and encourage students in my class to use these techniques that they leave with a much more sense of, enhanced sense of well-being. They come back for more. I definitely notice an influx in numbers when I incorporate this into my class. I also, joining kinesiology and yoga, I now have a business that I'm working for myself. It feels great. I'm earning enough money and not worried about class numbers anymore. Or all of my yoga students have now become kinesiology clients as well. I have a sustainable income through kinesiology. It benefits my yoga practice as well. So yes, watch this space for more webinars, more tips, workshops on the same. And yes, hope you join in for the rest of the webinars for the week. And thank you for watching.
Great, thank you, Lorraine. I'm going to share the screen now so that Lucy can get up and be comfortable. I'm going to share with you some more information about what we've just seen. So what is a muscle test? We use it as a way of being able to evaluate what's going on in the body. It's a way of evaluating the nervous system and how the body is responding to stress. And so as Lorraine was applying stress to those muscles in the test, you could see how some of them tested weak and some of them tested strong. So we would say that a normally functioning muscle tests strong and an inhibited or weak muscle tests weak or hypotonic. And you saw that she put the arm or the leg in a specific position. In this case, the client was lying down, but you can also do this test sitting or standing. And if a client is unable to adapt to the stress, then this will cause the muscle to test weak, as we said. So the feedback it gives is it helps us really to know what to do. So it tells us how the body is able to adapt to a stress, as well as what kind of treatment is going to be applicable. So obviously Lorraine is using it very much with yoga poses, but you saw how she was able to work with lymphatic reflexes, the neurovascular ones as well. And so it gives us lots of feedback because we get a sense of, have a sense of what causes weakness. So local problems, as Lorraine mentioned about injuries and trauma, things like sometimes people are coming to yoga to help with injuries. But there could also be spinal problems or meridian imbalances. nutritional deficiencies. Lorraine dropped in there. There's a few B vitamins and things that might indicate or questions that we might have in our minds about where to go looking for to help a muscle to improve. It could indicate organ functional problems, food sensitivities, also stress, worries, and anxiety, as well as lymphatic congestion. And you got a good sense of some of the things that yoga does along with kinesiology to improve lymphatic congestion. So our whole person approach is we are looking at the stresses, thoughts, worries, beliefs, emotions that a person may be thinking about all the time, because it's pretty noisy up there in our heads. We also can look at the body from a chemical point of view, so the biochemistry, the foods that people eat, nutrition that they might need, that might be deficient in. And then in the physical realm, structure, movement, how much people move, how much they don't move, muscles and bones. And then of course the energetic realm, that lovely meridian tap along the triple warmer meridian for the stress, for the adrenals. So we work with the auras and the electrics. And when we're working with those, we're looking to identify imbalances in all of those areas and then aim to balance them simultaneously. That's the aim. We work with the whole person at the same time. So the meridian acupuncture theory is where we get a lot of our information. It's a very powerful energy system, and I totally believe that yoga is also stimulating that acupuncture energy. I've never trained in yoga, but I love yoga classes here in Westport, and I always feel a real benefit in getting into that realm where it feels more peaceful. I think that's our aim in all holistic therapies, is to find that place inside of us that can drop out of our thinking and find a place where there's peace in comparison to the outside world, which is rather noisy and stressful. And so there's different acupuncture meridians, 12 major ones, 2 central ones, and we use that to great effect with our understanding of how the body is connected. So we use pulse points, we use alarm points, we use beginning and end points. Lorraine demonstrated there how we used a particular end point for diagnosis, but also we would use them therapeutically. And then crucially, every meridian has a related muscle organ relationship. So that really helps us to join the dots and to understand why a particular muscle might be weak, why it's not functioning 100%, which could be contributing to imbalances or instability in a yoga pose. Particularly if you've got one of those strong muscles that Lorraine was showing you, it may prove that you're out of balance or unable to hold the pose. And so working on those muscles, knowing precisely which muscle it is, really helps to fine tune working with clients. So the lymphatic system reflexes that Lorraine was showing you, they come from the field of osteopathy. They're also called the Chapman reflexes, and they improve the lymph supply to the body's organs, but also the muscles as well. And Goodhart, who was the founder of kinesiology, he found that stimulating those points could increase the strength of a weak muscle. They're on the front of the back, and there's loads of them here. So we had the ones that we were working with earlier, which was around the 1 inch out, 2 inches above. Hopefully you got a chance to give those a rub and see how they felt. Maybe they were a little bit more tender. It's interesting how tender those can be, particularly when we're under stress. And then they're up on the back points as well. So we know that yoga and kinesiology work really well together. Many of our students have already come to us having been trained in yoga and are looking for just something a little bit different to add to their services. And the sorts of things that people can add to their yoga business is stress relief. We saw exactly how Lorraine did it as part of the Shavasana, the end, relaxation area part of the session. And we know that people come to yoga to reduce stress and release some of those worries. And adding in this emotional stress release is a really gentle way of helping and supporting the body do that. So specific lymphatic support, that was when Lorraine mentioned that you could do this at home to help continue the benefits. Food testing. Big part of why muscles switch off is what we do every day. So what we're thinking every day, what we're eating every day. And those, the things that we eat every day, we don't always notice that they are having an impact, because it's not like an allergy. It's not like suddenly you feel tired. It's just got this like lower energy levels, feeling like this all the time, and hard to connect it to what you're eating unless you completely eliminate it. And an elimination diet takes a long time to, because you might replace one thing and you added in something else. So kinesiology is a great way to identify those hidden food sensitivities. Whether specific emotions work, that's because each muscle has a different type of emotion, and so it's quite interesting to understand if there's a specific emotion, whether we were working with a large intestine muscle or whether we were working with a lung muscle or a liver muscle. Those all have different emotions that help to, again, join the dots. And dehydration, Lorraine demonstrated that too very nicely. So Lorraine, just tell us a little bit about what the difference that kinesiology has made to your life, your practice,
Well, it's made a huge difference to my life, to be honest. I myself have way better health. My family, my friends, I feel much more balanced as a person. My life is much more balanced since I found kinesiology and then went on to train, because my body is in balance now. So it's natural that everything else would match. But I have also, kinesiology gave me the tools. It helped with any emotional blockages, digestive problems, the chemical and toxicity problems I was having. So I realized I also needed to change my lifestyle as well. And I was looking to find another holistic therapy, because to be honest, I was burnt out. As much as I was thinking, I wasn't emotionally stressed, and I definitely wasn't, but there was an element of stress in the fact that I was running around to yoga classes in a little Nissan Micra with a roof full of suitcases that were bigger than the car, dragging things everywhere, mats, and, late nights or dark nights in the winter time, and then often you might get there and there could be 3 or 4 students, there's been times when it was disheartening for me. Also, it took up a lot of time. I might have to travel across the city, so I was looking for something else that I could work at as well and make a full-time living, to be honest. I found personally for me that sometimes the classes or regular income was, really it was hard to come by. Most yoga teachers that I know double job, so yoga would be like their second job. For me, I was working full time as a care worker, doing night shifts and many other things. So I wasn't living the life I wanted to live. When you start to train as a yoga teacher and you practice yoga every day, you actually want the balance in your life. And unfortunately for me, when I would step off the mat or a few hours later and have to go back to my other life, there was a conflict of interest. So when I found kinesiology, it saved my health. I fully believe it saved my life. I really do. When I found it, I knew that was it. I went to a taster session, and when I walked out the door, I said to my husband, my whole life is going to change from this moment on. I just knew that there was something unbelievably powerful in it. And because it's so person-centered, so for example, what might get rid of toxins in your body, Siobhan, as you know, may not work for me. And through kinesiology testing, it's very personalized. We're able to tell what your own body needs, and what kind of a fix it needs. Does it need an emotional fix, a change of lifestyle? Does it need vitamins or minerals? Is your energy blocked? So on and so forth. Do you need to work on the structural body? So yes, I've never looked back. Within, I started Balanced Health in 2014, which is only 4 years ago. Is that right?
Yeah. It's hard to believe, isn't it, how quickly time goes?
This time 4 years ago, felt like I was on death's door. I was run ragged, doing loads of different jobs. Wasn't living the life I really wanted to live. I was looking at older people in work who were falling down in a heap. And they were even afraid to retire. And I was thinking, this is not for me. I need to find another way. I want to work less, earn more, and do a job that I love. And I am eternally grateful that this is where I have ended up. After the Balanced Health, I went on, as you know, to do a diploma. And since then, I've become a leader. So I'm one of, there's 13 of us in the country that teach around the country the Balanced Health course. It's amazing to be able to teach other students to move forward with their lives, their dreams, their goals. It's just amazing. What really helped me as well, Siobhan, on the diploma course was a small section of it was on training on how to run a business, which, there was a belief inside me at the time that, you can't make money out of holistic practices, that you can never make a full-time job, and it's only very lucky people that do that, or gifted people, or people with magic powers. So it was a case of, so with kinesiology techniques, I was able to, do different tappings to realign myself with the beliefs and the goals that I wanted, and all of that helped to empower me to get to where I am today. So, yeah.
Great. And you also built your yoga center.
Yeah, so I only started the Balanced Health 4 years ago. I opened the studio a year and a half. From the minute you finish Balanced Health, when you decide to go on to do a diploma, I was encouraged to take students for €30 or something, just to get the practice in, and they were getting great benefits. And I started to save that money, and I eventually got so busy when I qualified that I needed to build somewhere. I wasn't there to ask my husband to stay quiet for 6 hours a day, not making noise in the house. So I built the yoga studio, or the studios, the healing studio. I have enough space here to teach 12 to 14 students. It's a big room, but I have it beautifully organized. I am over behind where the camera is. I have a plinth and my workstation. I have a fire in the corner, up on, in a stone wall. It's really, really beautiful here. My view is overlooking the Cumber Mountains.
It's beautiful. It really is beautiful. And it's made a difference because you don't have to lug all your gear around. You can run it, everything from your home,
basically.
basically.
Come here to me now, and it's much easier for my life. It's much easier. This setting is much more beautiful, but this was always a dream of mine, and I actually, didn't really believe that it could be possible. It was just like, maybe when I'm 50 that'll happen.
Because that's old.
Just like when I'm at the other stage of life and I have my house paid off for, and I have all these other things that paid off for, and really they were unrealistic blocks that I was putting on myself. If it's for you, go for it. Don't waste any more time. I never look back. And anyone that has trained as a kinesiologist or has went down this path or doing the Balanced Health course to add to your other skills have been overwhelmed by the amount of information that you learn in a very positive way. You're able to help clients in a completely different way from any other modality I have trained in. But it's great as a conjunction with other modalities also. So yes.
Yeah, thank you, Lorraine. And yes, I think what is really clear is that there's such a long career that you can have with kinesiology, because it's very gentle on the body. It's it doesn't burn you out. It doesn't tax you in any way, and rarely would you get injuries. I don't know if anybody gets an injury from working with kinesiology. So yeah, here's some of our graduates over the years. There'll be some familiar faces in there as well. So if you're wondering about what is the next step, well, we do have our Balanced Health course. We have, as Lorraine mentioned, quite a few different venues around the country where you can learn kinesiology. And our curriculum is really talking about how we're emphasizing the whole being, as Lorraine said, a very individual way of being able to identify what a person needs, as opposed to following guidelines for health. It's like, what specifically does this person need? So muscle testing, you know, maybe looks easy. And yes, it's a simple concept, but it is much more than just pushing on an arm or pulling on a leg. It needs a bit of time, attention, and good training. So we have our course leaders that offer training around the country. So some of what you get on the course is to be able to muscle test 25 different muscles. Priority mode, pause lock, surrogate testing. Surrogate testing is very much about people who can't necessarily be tested in themselves, whether they're too young or in too much pain. Priority mode is a way in which we find out what order something wants to be fixed. We also look at the mental realm, so we've got fears and phobias, emotional stress relief, which you've experienced a little bit tonight, goal setting, as Lorraine mentioned, about how she was able to clear some blocks to seeing this as a sustainable business. And we have worked with lots of different techniques to help with emotions. On the chemical side, then we're looking at food sensitivity testing, nutritional testing, dehydration, and improving organ function. These are just like a snapshot of what is covered. It really is. This is not the whole course. This is just like, we want to highlight a few things for you. And then on the physical realm, identifying physical causes for health issues, the lymphatic and the vascular reflexes, aches and pains coming from different areas of the body, and what's the cause and what's the symptom, and as well as gait balancing too. And of course, then on the energetic side, we've got our using the acupuncture system, sedation points, tapping points, again, pulses for over energies, chakras, aura work. I mean, there is really something for everybody who enjoys different aspects of holistic health. So the training course is 3 months. That consists of 2 weekends of in-person training, so in any of the different venues around the country. And in between those 2 weekends are 8 weeks of an online course, which was designed so that it can fit around everybody's busy lifestyle. And you have access to the kinesiology video library. There is massive support. So we do a live masterclass and Q&A each month, and daily support in our Facebook group. And so again, all our course leaders are in there, so if you ask a question, it's more than likely that we're going to get to you pretty fast, seeing as we all have our smartphones. And then the perfect CPD course for yoga teachers and practitioners. Absolutely. I hope you've seen the potential of what's there. Okay, so venues. We have, from the top of the country, we have Derry, Donegal, Leitrim, Mayo, Galway, 2 in Cork, 1 in Waterford, which is Lorraine. We have 2 in Wexford, Dublin, and County Meath, Trim, County Meath. So that's where all our venues are. And we have our Balanced Health courses starting during September and October, so not long to go. This is the whole team together. And so the Balanced Health course, is absolutely the place to start. However, tomorrow we do have, or not tomorrow, Thursday night, we have our 2-hour taster event. And that's where you can get to meet your course leader, test and balance a muscle, experience it really for yourself, because seeing is believing, but feeling is very much believing. When you feel that muscle go weak, every muscle test should be effortless. It shouldn't be difficult to resist a pressure. But when it's always interesting when people start to experience it and they go, oh yeah, no, I can't resist that pressure. So that's a little bit of a try before you buy, try before you commit to the Balanced Health course. And again, that's happening in all of our locations. So the Balanced Health course, though, is usually 1197, and our regular early bird price is 997. So that's currently what you can get on the website. But if you are interested, then we have this very special discount for you guys. You will not find this anywhere else on the website. It's an extra €100 off, and all you need to do is put in this discount code when you are in the shopping cart and hit apply. So it's HRS for HealthRoadShow. So HRS 18 and yoga. And so that is if you book before Saturday. So that discount code will expire on Saturday the 18th at midnight. But if you book now, if you book before Thursday, then you will also give you 2 extra tickets for the taster event happening in any location. So anywhere you are in the country, you get 2 places. So for yourself and another yoga colleague or a friend who might be interested can come along to our 2-hour taster event, which is obviously a €50 value. So this is what you get, just to summarize what's on the course. So you've got your 2 live weekends. You've got all manuals, workbooks and kits that are included. You have kinesiology video library access, and you can get that straight away as soon as you book. You get 4 months of online support, 3 live masterclasses, but access to all past masterclasses. So we've been doing it this way for the last, 2 or 3 years. And you also have access to all the future masterclasses because you have lifetime access to the online content. So the value of the course is pretty much $1,600. The regular price is pretty much $1,200, but the early bird price is $997, and it's $897 with our special bonus in honor of our Health Roadshow. So we're bending over backwards to give you as few excuses as possible to come along and learn this amazing therapy. So if you're ready to get started, what you get when you enroll is immediate access to the kinesiology video library. You'll be able to join the Facebook group and meet your fellow students. And because you're getting access to the video library, you're going to be able to start consuming some of the content online, and you can get started right away. And if you go to the taster, then you'll even learn to muscle test or two and be able to start straight away. So to book your place, go to kinesiologyzone.com/book now. Remember, this exclusive code HRS18yoga ends on Saturday, and then it'll go back to the early bird price, which is usually about 2 weeks before the actual start of the course. But yeah, that's a good saving with the extra €100 off. So thank you very much for joining us tonight. Lorraine, any last words that you'd like to say?
No, I'd just like to say thank you to Lucy for being the demo. She was very good to give up her time tonight, and I hope this has been helpful for any of you, any practitioners, any yoga teachers, anyone out there to going forward. Yeah,
Super.
absolutely. It's a fantastic addition to anything that you do already, but also as a standalone treatment, it's amazing as well. So yeah, best of luck.
We are biased. We do love it, and so we do hope that we'll have some more yoga practitioners joining us in any of our venues. We do. We love it. We are enthusiastic, and it's a lively and community of kinesiologists that love having other therapies involved as well, because so many of us. I think kinesiology really helps to bridge and get to understand what's going on for a particular person. So thank you for all your questions. Yes, thank you, Lucy, for being a fantastic demo. You're very flexible. I'm very jealous. and so yeah, if you have any questions, feel free to email us at info@kinesiologyzone.com, and we hope to see you on a course soon. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye.